There are all kinds of huge animals roaming the planet, from elephants and giraffes to whales and bears. The world is packed with giants. And while these creatures are definitely impressive in size, a few take the word big to a whole different level. Join us as we explore 15 unusually large animals that truly exist in our world. These beasts aren't just enormous. They're designed to survive and dominate in environments where being huge isn't just helpful, it's how they thrive. Number 15. Whale shark. Well, you'd think anything that size would strike fear into anyone in the water. But whale sharks are the complete opposite of what their name suggests. Let's say they are super bad boys. These spotted titans, often stretching over 40 feet long and weighing around 20 tons, cruise warm oceans like floating buses, calm, quiet, and totally unbothered. Instead of chomping down on large prey, they glide with their mouths wide open, sifting microscopic plankton and fish eggs from the water like a giant vacuum cleaner. Despite being the biggest fish in the sea, they're chill enough to let scuba divers swim right beside them. Each whale shark has a unique constellation of spots on its back, making them surprisingly easy to identify. In recent years, though, there's growing concern about boat strikes and plastic pollution, especially as they spend time near the surface. These peaceful giants are reminders that even the most massive creatures can move through the world gently, unless, of course, you're a plankton. Number 14. Wild Gore. When you hear King of the Jungle, your brain probably goes straight to lions. Well, it is very true, but the Gore, well, it could throw a lion halfway across the forest. These beasts are absolute tanks. Massive wild bovines that can weigh over a ton and stand nearly 7 feet tall at the shoulder. Found in India and Southeast Asia, the Gore moves through the forest with a kind of heavyweight confidence. Thick, curved horns and muscles on muscles make them look like gym bros with hooves. Even tigers think twice before messing with them, which says a lot. And while they mostly graze on grass and leaves, they've been known to aggressively defend their herd if something gets too close. Herds often follow a lead female, and when they roll through, it's like watching a convoy of armored trucks on legs. Sadly, deforestation and poaching have taken their toll. But where they still roam free, the Gore isn't just part of the jungle, it owns it. Number 13. Monster catfish. If you're fishing in Europe and suddenly your rod bends like it's hooked to a freight train, well, just congratulations. You've probably met a Wells catfish. These river giants can grow over 9 feet long and weigh nearly 300 pounds, making them feel more like river monsters than actual fish. With their slimy mottled bodies and yawning mouths, they're not winning any beauty contests, that's what we can say confidently, but they make up for it in raw power. Dragging one out of the water is a serious workout. Some catches take up to an hour of non-stop pulling, and no, they don't just sit around eating algae. These catfish will swallow waterfowl, rodents, and even other fish whole. Most anglers toss them back after the catch, partly out of respect and partly because, well, who's got a freezer big enough? Seeing one up close is surreal, like something ancient decided it wasn't done evolving yet. It's not just a fish, it's a warning label with gills. Number 12. World sits tallest camel. At a festival packed with beautiful camels and proud owners, one beast towered above them all. This towering camel in Saudi Arabia stood nearly 10 feet tall at the shoulder, making even grown men look like toddlers beside it. Well, we all know that camels are already huge, but this one, it was next level, like someone hit the stretch setting too hard. Crowds couldn't stop staring, snapping photos as the giant calmly strutted around like it knew it was the main event. And it was. In a region where camels are celebrated for their endurance, elegance, and status, this tall boy stole the show just by existing. People weren't just impressed by its height, it became a symbol of tradition meeting jaw-dropping nature. And despite its sheer size, it was calm, majestic, and almost regal. It's rare to see something that huge and that graceful at the same time. In a desert full of legends, this camel wrote its own. What do you think about it? Let us know. Number 11. Bondi Beach Octopus. Now this thing is totally super weird. Locals thought it was seaweed at first, then the mass shifted and suddenly people were backing away from a massive octopus sprawled right across Bondi Beach. Seeing one of these things washed ashore is like catching a UFO on your front lawn. The tentacles alone stretched like something out of a movie, and the way it shimmered under the morning sun made it look surreal. Giant octopuses rarely come this close to land, which made the sight even more bizarre. Marine biologists guessed it had been injured or disoriented, possibly by changing currents or warm water pushing it closer to shore. Normally, these intelligent creatures lurk deep underwater, hiding in crevices and playing real-life shape-shifting games with predators. Seeing one this exposed felt like nature dropping a reminder: the ocean isn't done surprising us. It was beautiful, haunting, and oddly human in its vulnerability. One moment it was there, the next the tide had taken it back. Just like that. Number 10. Lolong the Crocodile. Locals didn't need legends. They had Lolong. This beast of a saltwater crocodile didn't just break records, he shattered them. Stretching over 20 feet and tipping the scales at nearly 2,400 pounds, Lolong was the stuff of nightmares caught after weeks of tracking and tense standoffs in the Philippines. It took over 100 people and some serious manpower to haul him out of the water. The moment he was captured, he went from village threat to global sensation. Crowds traveled just to catch a glimpse of him lounging in his custom-built enclosure, and sure, he mostly ate fish and water buffalo, but one look at his jaws, and you knew he could do far more damage. Sadly, Lolong passed away in 2013, but he's still remembered as a living reminder of nature's scale and ferocity. You hear stories about ancient monsters. This one just happened to be real, right here in our time. Alright guys, now let's talk about something very cute. Number 9. Shire Horse. Well, we say just one thing. You don't need a fantasy novel to find a real-life horse that looks like it belongs on a medieval battlefield. Shire horses are enormous. We're talking 6 feet tall at the shoulder, weighing close to a ton, and built like living bulldozers. But here's the twist. They're as calm as clouds. These gentle giants were once the backbone of agriculture and transport in England, hauling heavy carts, plows, and even artillery with power that most modern trucks would envy. Thick feathering on their legs and that slow, steady gait give them a look that's half royal, half unstoppable. These days, they show up in parades or heritage fairs more than in fields, but that doesn't make them any less impressive. Despite their size, they're known for being patient, kind, and surprisingly affectionate around humans. Shire horses are living proof that true strength doesn't need to roar. It can walk quietly, pull a ton, and still stop for head pats. Number 8. Giant Bullfrog. Most frogs sit quietly, croaking and munching flies. This one is very different. It'll eat a bird if it can catch it. The African giant bullfrog doesn't just look like it's from a different planet, it acts like it too. These things can grow bigger than a dinner plate and weigh over 4 pounds. And when they open that wide, gaping mouth, almost anything nearby becomes lunch: insects, small mammals, even snakes. They're aggressive, territorial, and not afraid to throw down. During mating season, males will literally fight to guard their tadpoles, biting, ramming, and launching themselves like green cannonballs. And weirdly enough, they're good dads. If the water starts to dry up, they'll dig channels to keep their babies alive. It's a bizarre combo, part monster, part helicopter parent. If you're expecting a dainty little rabbit, this beast will prove you wrong in seconds. Amphibians aren't always the underdogs. Sometimes they are the absolute threat. Number 8. Tibetan Mastiff. The first time you see one, you might actually flinch. It looks like a lion broke into a dog park. Tibetan Mastiffs aren't just big, they're massive, with thick fur, giant paws, and a presence that screams, "Don't even think about it." Originally bred to guard livestock in the brutal conditions of the Himalayas, these dogs were meant to face down wolves, leopards, and even snow leopards without blinking. And they did. They still do. Weighing in at 150 pounds or more, they're more fortress than a pet. But beneath that intense exterior is a deeply loyal, surprisingly calm companion. They're not lapdogs, they're more like bodyguards with fluff. They'll bond hard with their humans and act with total devotion, but don't expect blind obedience. These dogs are independent thinkers. Training 1. You'll need patience and mutual respect, but if you earn their trust, you've got a protector who'll stand tall through blizzards, brawls, and anything in between. Number 6. Forrest the giraffe. You won't forget the moment you see Forrest in person. We mean it's that beautiful, large, and big. He doesn't just tower, he looms. At over 18 feet tall, this giraffe at Australia Zoo holds the crown for the tallest of his kind, and it's easy to see why. His legs look like stilts, his neck seems to stretch into the clouds, and his calm, curious eyes take it all in like a quiet sentinel of the savannah. Forrest isn't just a record breaker, he's a gentle giant who somehow blends grace with jaw-dropping size. He's been part of conservation programs for years, helping raise awareness for declining giraffe populations worldwide. But none of that feels forced when you're in his presence. Watching him nibble leaves from treetops that other giraffes can't even reach feels like seeing evolution show off. There's nothing flashy or aggressive about him, he just is, and that's enough to leave a lasting impression. Nature didn't just make him tall, it made him unforgettable. Number 5. Giant river otter. When a 6-foot-long otter slices through the water like it's on a mission, it's time to stop thinking of otters as cute. This one isn't here to play. Native to the Amazon, the giant river otter hunts with a squad, literally. Packs of these things work together to trap fish, corner caimans, and even take on young anacondas. They're fast, smart, and loud, emitting high-pitched calls that sound more like warnings than conversation. And while they might look goofy on land, in the water, they're engineered for speed and dominance. Their territory, marked with scent and fiercely defended, even against predators as bold as jaguars. They're not just apex swimmers, they're family-driven tacticians with real bite. Sadly, like most river legends, they're fading fast due to human intrusion and habitat loss. But in the few places where they still reign, these otters show exactly what teamwork and muscle can do when nature goes full throttle. And let's be real, it's just one of the many bizarre creatures found in the Amazon. There are tons of them. Number 4. Patrick the wombat. Patrick didn't care about being famous. He just wanted snacks. For over 30 years, this 84-pound wombat lounged like a king at Ballarat Wildlife Park, wheeled around in a barrow like royalty, napping, snacking, and stealing every tourist's heart without lifting a paw. He wasn't just the biggest wombat in captivity, he was the oldest, too. Most wombats tap out after 15 years, but Patrick doubled that with the energy of a sleepy grandpa and the charm of a seasoned showman. Visitors couldn't get enough of his calm, squishy presence. He didn't climb, dig, or do backflips. He existed, and that was more than enough. There was something weirdly comforting about seeing him live so simply, so peacefully. Patrick wasn't flashy or fierce. He was a chonky icon who quietly became one of the most beloved animals in the country. No claws-out drama. Just a wheelbarrow, some veggies, and wombat vibes so strong you felt better just being near him. Number 3. Zeus the Great Dane. Dogs are man's best friend, and we don't know about you, but we just love them. There are almost every type, size, and breed of dog, but no one can compare to this super dog. Zeus wasn't just big. He made adults look like toddlers. Standing over 7 feet tall on his hind legs, Zeus wasn't the kind of dog you walked past without comment. At home, he was just another sweet pup who loved lounging on the couch, even if he needed the whole thing. His food bills were brutal. His water bowl, basically a mop bucket. But for all the logistics that came with owning a dog that size, Zeus was gentle, patient, and ridiculously lovable. Kids climbed on him like a jungle gym. Strangers would gasp at first, then melt once he nuzzled up. Unfortunately, like many giants, his size caught up with him early. He passed away young, but not before showing the world that a creature can be both enormous and unbelievably kind. His height broke world records. His heart, that broke expectations. Zeus didn't just live tall, he lived loved. Number 2. The monstrous kangaroo. If kangaroos had gyms, some of them would never leave. The biggest males, especially red kangaroos, are so jacked it's borderline absurd. Thick chests, veiny arms, and broad shoulders, they look like something you'd see on the cover of a fitness magazine, not bounding through the Australian outback. These aren't accidental gains. That muscle is used during fierce battles with other males, biting, grabbing, and straight-up boxing to win dominance and breeding rights. Their kicks? Brutal. Their posture? All intimidation. And while most people picture kangaroos as adorable hoppers with pouches, these guys are wild tanks on 2 legs. The late Roger, a famously ripped kangaroo, once crushed metal buckets just to show off. It wasn't aggression. It was pure flex. Australia's wildlife is full of unexpected strength, but few animals mix grace and raw power like these kangaroo bodybuilders. Get too close, and you might find out firsthand how much punch a plant eater can pack. So, it's best to stay away from them and keep a safe distance. Number 1. Sushi, the shoebill. Sushi doesn't care about your camera. He's not here for TikToks. He stands motionless, 4 feet tall, staring through your soul with a prehistoric glare. With a face that says, "I've seen things," and a beak shaped like a shoe. Yes, really, Sushi looks like a bird built from leftover dinosaur parts. He's not aggressive, but he doesn't need to be. Shoebills are silent hunters, standing still for hours until the exact right moment to snap their massive bills around a lungfish or frog. Sushi's become a cult figure in Uganda, where people come to see him and bow. It's his thing. You bow. He bows. Fail to do it right, and he'll just keep staring until you regret everything. In a world of noisy animals and flashy feathers, Sushi rules with deadpan silence and prehistoric calm. He doesn't squawk, he judges, and somehow that makes him one of the coolest birds alive. What do you think about this beauty? Well, let us know, and we hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, well, be sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content like this. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and we'll see you very soon.